just getting people to acknowledge that anti-Asian racism was a thing was an entirely different landscape a couple of years ago.
Anti-Asian racism is only getting worse, but voices from here and across Canada are hoping to move past the fear with a two-day forum hosted by the University of British Columbia. The event comes just days after a poll found that younger and lower income Asian Canadians are more likely to be the target of bigotry. It's North America's epicenter for anti-Asian racism, Vancouver. And it's where new data is showing the impact on the community. An Angus Reid Institute poll done with UBC outlines Asian Canadians 18 to 34 are most likely to have experienced racism in the last year. 1 in 4 participants reported exposure to discrimination all the time or often. 53% say the discrimination has been hurtful and stays with them.
And there was another woman who was like shopping in line, and when there was a racist remark, she bolted through the door. She couldn't handle it. And then she berated herself, feeling guilty. Why did I just leave the shopping cart at the door? Why couldn't I have stood up for myself? And then, start feeling guilty about how she didn't stand up for herself.
Speakers note our country has an angel complex, referring to Canadians' denial that racism exists here.
Say it again. How nice are you?
And the reactions of shock and surprise when hate escalated throughout the pandemic.
If we blame COVID and think that after COVID's gone, the racism will be gone, then you will be surprised again when it comes back the next time. Housing unaffordability, blame Chinese. If there are problems between Canada and China, what will we do, in terms of blaming Chinese Canadians for things that aren't in their control.
While this week's Angus Reid poll found people don't believe discrimination is tied to healthcare, schools, and other institutions, some speakers argue victims may be focusing on individuals rather than systemic racism upheld by those institutions. Meanwhile, forum participants believe the discussions are a good start.
We saw a huge uptick of interest after the tragedy in Atlanta. If that brought you into this conversation, that's great. But what was preventing you from being here before that? And how do you plan to sustain your support?
If there's any country that has the opportunity and the potential to solve it, it is Canada.
The National Forum continues Friday. In Vancouver, Crystal Laderas, City News.